Well, everybody, it looks like the United States is now in another disastrous Middle East war. The United States, along with Israel, decided to start bombing Iran, and it quickly became a regional war. This war in Iran is a huge betrayal of Donald Trump and all his other people like Tulsi Gabbard and J.D. Vance, all their previous promises that we're not going to go into any more wars. And they were blaming, if Kamala Harris had won, that we'd be going into war. Well, here we go. This is under Trump. Now we're in another stupid Middle East war. But this video is going to be talking specifically about economic impact that this war is going to have. So one of the impacts, regions I want to talk about in a war with Iran is talking about two very important points of commerce. We're talking about here in the Persian Gulf, the Strait of Hormuz, where so much of global oil traffic goes through, with the Arab Gulf states as well as Saudi Arabian oil and Iranian oil as well. And also on the other side, near Egypt, where the Suez Canal is, in the Red Sea, which is also a major global supply chain lane for ships, cargo ships going to and fro through Egypt's Suez Canal. Iran has already closed off the Strait of Hormuz and has threatened to attack any ships that go through, and there has been some oil tankers that have been attacked. Now, on the other side, the Yemen Houthis, if they were to resume attacking ships in the Red Sea again, which they stopped doing in November, and choke off the Suez Canal, along with the Strait of Hormuz being choked off, this is going to have tremendous economic consequences, this war, the longer it goes on. And that's what I'm going to break down, talking about, and explaining in this video. One of the immediate consequences happening right now, after the United States started bombing Iran and starting a war, is Iran has retaliated by launching missiles back at U.S. military bases in many of the Gulf Arab states, such as Kuwait, the United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Bahrain. And while they're also striking at U.S. military bases, the Iranian missiles have also struck oil refinery targets as well. Iran has also decided to close the Strait of Hormuz and threatened to attack any oil tankers that go through the Strait of Hormuz. So now, global oil traffic in the Persian Gulf has been brought to a standstill. So right now, no oil tankers are able to get through the Persian Gulf, to get through the Strait of Hormuz, because Iran has threatened to attack any ships that go through. They're even threatening to put sea mines in the Strait of Hormuz, which would strike and damage any ships going through. And the effect of this is now a lot of oil can't get out, and the global oil market is now affected by this with the lack of supply of oil, and global oil prices are now going up. And already, even in the United States, we're feeling the effect of this, of gas prices going up. So this is already really bad with the closure of the Strait of Hormuz and Iran choking it off. But imagine if there was another sea crisis happening in the Middle East, particularly with the Red Sea and Egypt's Suez Canal. And then these happen at the same time. This would be really detrimental to global supply chains. What I'm referring to are the Yemeni Houthis. The Houthis are a Shia Muslim political and military organization group based in Yemen, and they actually control a large portion of Yemen in Yemen's long-running civil war. And the Houthis are backed and supported by the Iranian government. Starting in late 2023, after Israel began bombing Gaza after the October 7th, 2023 massacre, the Yemeni Houthis decided to be in solidarity with the Palestinians in Gaza, started launching missiles at Israel, but they also started attacking international cargo ships that travel through the Red Sea near the Gulf of Aden. Ships that would have to travel through the Red Sea in order to go through Egypt's Suez Canal. So the Yemeni Houthis, supplied by the Iranian government, and they have advanced helicopters and hypersonic missiles, drones, and speedboats, were able to raid and attack lots of international cargo ships in order to disrupt global shipping trade, to make a political statement, to make Israel stop bombing Gaza. So the Yemeni Houthis turned to piracy. These Yemen Houthi attacks turned into a crisis, the Red Sea crisis, and international cargo ships decided to start avoiding using the Red Sea altogether and started to go all the way around Africa, from going all the way around South Africa, which meant global trade was slowed down and everything had to take longer to get from place to place. And eventually, the United States got involved and started bombing the Yemeni Houthis through 2024 and into 2025. And the Yemeni Houthis were more or less able to kind of wear out the United States because it became too economically costly for the U.S. The Yemeni Houthis eventually stopped attacking international cargo ships recently in November 2025, which briefly did bring some calm again in the Red Sea and people being able to use the Suez Canal again. Although the Yemeni Houthis did take a break from attacking international cargo ships, now with these attacks on Iran by the United States, and it turned into a bigger regional war, the Houthis, who are an ally of Iran, have been threatening to get involved in the war. Already in the past, I mentioned also that Israel had been hit by many hypersonic missiles from the Yemeni Houthis as well. The Yemeni Houthis weren't only attacking ships, but they were also able to launch hypersonic missiles that were able sometimes to get through Israel's air defenses. So if the Yemeni Houthis decide to get involved again and start attacking ships in the Red Sea, while at the same time that the Strait of Hormuz gets closed off, this will have huge economic consequences for global supply chains and global shipping and trade. So then no one would be able to use the Suez Canal, and no one would be able to use the Persian Gulf and the Strait of Hormuz. So that would bring shipping to its knees, especially in the Mediterranean. And then it could really make fighting a war with Iran just too costly for the United States and Israel.